I'm Ray Livingston, the modern survivalist. I am one with the land. I am the wolf. I am the bear. I am the raven. I roam the land in harmony and with connection to the land that I am in. I harvest, I scavenge, I hunt, and I poop. Therefore, I am a wild beast. I am a wilderness wanderer. And it's well said that not all who wander are lost. But right now, I have no freaking idea where I am. Fuck am I at? What the fuck am I supposed to do with this thing? Jesus freaking Christ. Ah! All is lost. I'm wandering into the Arctic wasteland to my death and destruction.
Dad, why are you being so dramatic?
Huh? Hey, I told you not to show that part, dude. Come on, we're making a fucking video. Come on, stop. In all seriousness, getting lost in the woods is a very real possibility for even the most seasoned hikers, backpackers, hunters, campers, and woodsmen. That's one of those things you don't want to do unless you are a superb survivalist and can survive in any situation. But even then, you really don't want to get lost in the woods. So my goal in this particular video isn't really to go in depth with teaching you exactly how to use a map and compass. There's a lot of information out there to show you how to do it, but I'm kind of introducing you to the equipment that you'll need and some of the things that you'll need to think about for land navigation. I believe that if more people felt more comfortable with going into the woods and not getting lost, then you would find a better enjoyment in the woods and you would have more people entering the woods and exploring these wonderful natural places that we have all around us. One of the first things to understand is that not all maps are created equal, or rather, they are created equal, but they have different uses. They have different information on them depending on what they were designed to be used for. Most people are familiar with the Gazetteer map books, which are nice because you can have an entire state's worth of maps right at your fingertips. One of the things, though, you have to look is that that map is at a ratio of 1 to 160,000, which means it's zoomed out so much that you really don't get a whole lot of information on the map. You get as much as you can, but and this is good for some things, but if you're trying to navigate through the forest, there's hardly enough detail. You have your typical fold-up map that you'll get in the store. This map has a scale of 1 to 100,000. So it's a little bit more detailed than the Gazetteer maps, but still, you can see you don't have a ton of contour lines. It kind of gives you general information about where you're at, but no real great topographical information for you to use to navigate. Finally, you have a U.S. Department of Agriculture map with a scale of 1 to 24,000. That is generally one of the most detailed map scales that you're going to be able to get. And if you look closely, you have all the topographical features. You can see the draw of the valleys, the mountain peaks on the map. And that is the type of map that you'll need to successfully navigate through the wilderness. When you first start looking at topographical maps, you're like, what do all those squiggly lines mean? Like, does the Earth have giant tapeworms or something? And I'm here to tell you that no, those are not giant tapeworms. Those are contour lines, and those contour lines show you in two-dimensional format what the terrain is doing three-dimensionally. So as you read the map legend, it gives you the information about those lines. The interval in between those contour lines is 40 feet. So the wider they are apart, the more flat it is, and then the closer they are together, the more steep it is. Maps are great, especially when you're working with a map in an area where you have distinguishable land features. You know, a peak, a ridge, a river, a road, a lake, something like that that helps you orientate yourself to the map. But when you're in the wilderness, what you really need in order for that map to be a useful tool is a compass as well. About compasses is you kind of have to know how to use one. It really doesn't do you any good to just carry a compass and a map in your pack and not know how to use it. It just becomes another piece of weighted equipment. Yeah, it can help you some ways, but there's certain things that you need to do in order to make them useful. One, understanding how to find your location on the map. Understanding that you know the difference in declination between magnetic north and true north, and you know, understanding how to orient your compass to the map. The compass I chose for myself is a Bruton 70M. It's a sighting compass. It has the mirror there. It has the bezel that you can turn there. And you open it up. It has level, magnifier glass. It gives you scale and a straight edge as well. The main reason I chose this specific compass is because it was the only one in the store that measured in 1 degree increments. All the little hash marks on the dial are in 1 degrees. Most compasses are 2 degrees. And you can imagine if you're plotting a course on a map and you want to get here and you have to shoot a bearing 30 times in between your location and here to get there, and you're 1 degree off, every time you shoot a bearing, if you're off a little bit more, then you end up going in the wrong direction. So the more precise the measurements are on the compass, the more likely it is that you're going to be taking and using accurate bearings and able to navigate to where you want to go without as much deviation. There still is a chance for some deviation, and over the course of a mile, being half a degree or 1 degree off could not get you where you want to go, but you're going to be way closer if you're half a degree to 2 degrees off every time you shoot a bearing. So when you are looking for and looking at a compass for land navigation in the wilderness, get a good sighting compass, one with a nice straight edge. Magnifying glass is awesome if you need it. Adjustable declination, and definitely a sighting mirror, because you'll need that to shoot bearings. With map and compass, there is a lot of great things you can do with it. It's a great skill to have, and really every outdoorsman and anybody that really spends much time in the woods should always carry a good map of the area that they're in and a good compass so that they can navigate in and out and through that area if and when needed. But let's face it, it is the 21st century. And we've got modern tools and equipment available to us. And that is where a GPS comes in. My first GPS was probably one of the most profound things that I've ever bought that allowed me to be a better sportsman and outdoorsman, and to explore the woods with a lot more comfort. Just knowing at all times where you're at, where your truck is at, where different landmarks are, and knowing that at any point in time, regardless of where you're at, you know how to get out. It's just comforting. It brings a whole lot of comfort to me in the field. It allowed me to follow game, you know, instead of going just as far as I felt comfortable I can get myself out of. I was able to actually follow game by myself in the woods and go wherever the tracks or the animals led me, knowing that I will be able to get out easily if I needed to, if and when I needed to, when I needed to. For me, I always use Garmin GPSs. They are the 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 primary name in GPSs, and I was actually able to go to the Garmin factory store in Salem and take a GPS course. They're awesome. And let's face it, while every bushcrafter and woodsman and hunter will tell you, you don't rely 100% on GPS. You always bring a map and your compass, and that is the truth. But also, as the truth is, 99.9% of the time, we use our GPS in the field. I use it to everywhere, just about everywhere I go. I have the map and I have the compass. I know how to use them, but moment in, moment out, day in, day out in the field, I'm using my GPS. So let's be real about that and get comfortable using them. Yes, GPSs and electronics can fail on you. Yes, the batteries can run out on you. There are things you can do to mitigate that, and you can bring a extra charging pack, which I do. The same thing is true for a map and compass. You can lose your map, you can lose your compass, you can break your compass, you can get your map wet, you can rip it up. There's so many different things. So it all comes to being aware of your gear and planning ahead, but it is an exceptional tool to have in the woods. My personal GPS that I chose to get is a Garmin Montana 750i. I wanted this one because it has the biggest screen. And you can see it has plenty of detail. I actually don't even have 24K maps loaded on them. These are 1 at 100,000K, which again, just like with maps, I want more detail. And so I recently got this GPS and haven't got the updated map chips to it, but I'm definitely going to very soon. They just don't have them locally, so I'm going to have to order them from Garmin. But you can see it gives you your location, where you're at, shows you right where you're at the minute, at any moment. One of my favorite features of your GPS is that you can save waypoints or points of interest or places that you want to be able to navigate back to at any given time. So any place that's important to you or a place that you want to avoid, you can set a waypoint and make sure that you know exactly where it is at all times. My truck, for instance, is one where I will always have a truck waypoint set on my GPS, and then as I park my truck before I go in the field, I will hit reposition, and it'll reposition that waypoint to wherever I am at the moment, so I will always know where my truck is as a starting point. Don't disregard all the other ones. With those waypoints set, I can use the where to function, and I can choose to navigate to one of my waypoints. Pick my truck there. Oops. And hit go. And it'll calculate, and it'll give me a route to where my truck is from where I currently am. And this is set up now. It'll navigate on roads. I could have it follow my track or trail that I can create when I'm walking around, or I can have it navigate in just a straight line to from point A to point B. So last place I did this was some ways away, 20-something miles away. And that's where I last parked. And one of the other things that I really like is that you have the trip computer, that you can actually change all these windows and change them out to whatever it is that is important for you to see. So you can look at the elevation, your trip odometer. If you've got a route planted or plotted, it'll give you the distance to the next point and the estimation of time to get to the next point. Your speed, the amount of time you've been on the current trip, your time of day. You can get sunset, daylight. There's a whole bunch of different things depending on what you want to look at on this screen that you can set it to. And it's kind of, for me, it's just like, hey, how much elevation did I gain, or what's the elevation now? And that's important for me for hunting, because I want to know where I'm finding animals when I start finding animals, because generally they'll be around the same elevation in different areas. In most GPSs, they have actually a number of different profiles. My current profile is to hunt, but you can have a hiking, a recreational, driving, tour cycle, mountain bike, fishing, climbing, geocaching. The geocaching one, there are actually caches that are hidden around that you can navigate to and find little hidden treasures. And so it kind of makes wilderness navigation a bit of a game. So that would be a cool way to get more proficient in it, is use the geocaches and then use your GPS and your map and compass to navigate to specific points to get more familiar with using your GPS and your map and compass. And there's geocaches like everywhere. And so whether you're out in the forest or in a urban environment, you can usually find some caches available. On this particular model of GPS, I actually got it because it also has in-reach tracking. So I can use it to send an emergency message, to send little text messages through the satellite system when I don't have contact. And so it's just another way that if I were to get lost or injured while I'm out in the forest myself, I will have another way to reach out and get help if I need it. So that is a really quick overview of map, compass, and GPS. No, I didn't really go in depth into how to utilize those skills. That's something that you can research yourself and learn, that you really need to get up to do hands-on. There's plenty of videos out there available, or I am planning on doing some workshops in the future for map and compass primarily, but possibly some for GPS navigation as well. I just kind of wanted to kind of share these tools. They're not something that's daunting or overcoming. There's something that anybody can learn really easy and have the comfort and confidence to go out in the woods and have fun and explore and enjoy our natural world as we were meant to, without some of the anxiety that getting lost in the woods brings to mind, and quite often prevents people from getting out and enjoying our natural world. I'm Ray Livingston, the modern survivalist, and this is my tip of the day video of the week. You have a great day.